Good evening, friends. Welcome to Mission Possible by CA Bharat. We are discussing the share accounting topic from the AFB module, and so far we have covered two parts of this chapter, and this is the final chapter. And this chapter we will discuss about forfeiture. So, just a quick recap of what all we discussed till now. So, we started with the basics of share capital, what are the types of capital like authorized capital issued called up, and then we discussed the basic journal entries regarding share capital issuance. And again, this is divided into two types. Share capital can be issued at premium, at a discount. So we discussed both of these. So now we are going to discuss the important topic which is called as forfeiture. Forfeiture is nothing but cancellation of the share application or share allotment. So the most important thing here in forfeiture, it is again divided into two types. So whenever we forfeit the shares, forfeiture is nothing but cancellation. So again, those cancelled shares we can issue at a premium and we can issue at a discount. So premium is less complicated case, whereas in a discount there is some complication because we can use the forfeiture amounts. The basic rule which you must remember is that in general shares cannot be issued at a discount. The only exemption is forfeiture. So forfeited shares can be issued at a discount. So just let's quickly understand the practical sums in this so that you get a better clarity. So forfeiture, so this example you can take. So here he's saying that a company has 100 equity shares of 10 each issued at a premium of 20%. So immediately do the calculation. 10 each, premium of 20% means 2 rupees. So the total value of the share is 12 rupees. And the shares are forfeited for non-payment of final call of 5. So 5 rupees is the unpaid amount. 5 rupees is the unpaid amount. So what is this 7 rupees? This 7 rupees is paid. So you must always remember that forfeiture account should be credited with the paid amount, because whatever it is paid, that only you can forfeit, that only is your benefit. So this 7 rupees which the shareholder has already paid is now your benefit. It is a profit, it is kind of a capital profit to the company, and you can use this share forfeiture for various purposes like issuing the shares at a discount, and you can adjust this at that time. We will cover those sums also, but for now you must remember that forfeiture account should always be credited with the amount of money which the shareholder has already paid to us. Out of this 12 rupees, 5 is unpaid, 7 is paid. So this 7 goes into your forfeiture account. So the first point is your forfeiture account. If you see here, forfeiture account 700 rupees. What is the 7? 7 into 100, total 100 shares, right? So that's why we are doing share forfeiture 700. So what is the other part of the entry? The other part of the entry will be the paid amount. So share final call is the one which he didn't pay. Okay, so this 5 rupees will be credited. Why? Because why it is credited, you must already, in our previous examples we have seen that generally, except for application money, for allotment or for call, we generally pass the accrual entry. That means first we will pass share final call to share capital. This is a temporary account. I always say that in my previous videos also I have said that application, allotment, call and final call are all temporary accounts. Ultimately it will be transferred to your share capital account. Okay, so this share final call, next step, this is the accrual entry. The second step is bank, when we receive the money, to share final call. So this temporary accounts gets knocked off. So ultimately the entry is bank to share capital. This is the ultimate entry for any kind of share call or share application or share allotment. So because we have passed this accrual entry, now we have to reverse it. Because we thought that he will pay, we passed the accrual entry. So we would have passed the share final call to share capital 100 into 5 rupees, 500. So that now we have to reverse. Okay, then only it will get knocked off. So that we are reversing here. 5 rupees. One is the paid amount, another is the unpaid. As simple as that. Paid plus unpaid will come to your credit side. Okay, and share capital will be debited with the total amount, because the entire share of this 10 rupees is being forfeited. So you must debit that. Because this has premium in it, we have to show it separately and we have to debit premium. Why debit premium? Because we would have already passed a credit entry for premium. You know, remember what I said in my previous video? If not, you can just go and watch that. So whenever there is a premium, we have to show it separately. So that is very, very crucial. So we would have credited premium account at that point of time. Now we have to reverse that. So we are debiting it. So 1200 plus 1200. So this will automatically match. And this should match. So that is the concept of your forfeiture. We will again take one more example to get better clarity. So we will solve as many sums as possible in this chapter so that you get the feel of forfeiture, because in the exam mostly forfeitures are the questions which can come because they can involve an element of twist and they can confuse you. That's why they might give sums on forfeiture account. Okay, next is, here you can see in our previous example, just like our previous example, 800 equity shares, 10 each but a discount. In our previous example we saw premium, this is discount. So 10 discount of 10%, that means 1 rupee. So the net value of the share is 9 rupees. You must think that, sir, why is shares being issued at a discount? This is just for example. No need to confuse this with the logical part. Okay, this is just for example. Calculate the amount forfeited, because he is saying that non-payment of 2 calls of 2 each. That means 2 calls of 2 each. 4 rupees is non-paid. That means 4 rupees we have to reduce. So now what is the amount which is remaining? This is nothing but your paid. So this 5 into 800 shares, 5 into 800 will go to which account? It will go to forfeiture account. Paid amount is the amount which is our benefit. So paid amount is the amount which will go to share forfeiture account. It should be credited because it is a gain and it is kind of a capital gain. So share forfeiture 800 into 5, 4000. And what is the other part? What is the other part? Paid amount. So what is the paid amount? 5 rupees which we have credited. What is the other part? Unpaid amount. Unpaid amount is 4 rupees. Okay, unpaid amount is 4 rupees. So that 4 rupees we are showing it here as calls in arrears. Okay, so this is the first thing. This is the second thing. This is the paid. This is the unpaid. And now the total share capital value is 800 into 10, isn't it? 10 rupees. So 8000. You know, only if there is a premium you have to show it separately. If there is a discount, then you have to show it here, friends. This is the discount value. The balancing figure is the discount value, because out of this 10 rupees, 1 rupee is discount. Why we are crediting discount, sir? Yes, because when we originally issued, we would have passed the debit of discount. Because a discount is an expense, we would have passed a debit. Now in order to reverse that, because we are forfeiting the shares, we have to reverse it. Just like premium. Originally when we pass a premium entry, we credit it. But when we are forfeiting it, we are debiting it because we have to cancel it. Same is the concept with discount, friends. Originally when we pass the share issuance entry, we would have debited discount because discount is an expense. Now because we are forfeiting it or we are cancelling the entire process, we are crediting it. Or else you can simply take an example that it is nothing but the balancing figure. You can even take this as a balancing figure, or if you want to be strong in concept, then you can straight away put the entry discount credit 1 rupee. Same like what we have done in our premium cases. Share capital will always be the face value, friends. This is very, very important. You must remember this. Just because it is premium, don't show 12 rupees here, and at the same time, just because it is discount, do not show 9 rupees. You have to show premium and discount separately. So share capital should always be the face value of the share or the par value of the share. So hope this example clarifies your doubt to some more extent. Now we will take a bigger example so that you get more clarity. So the question here says that 10 rupees each, 1 lakh equity shares. So you must focus on the value of the share as always. So 10 rupees is the value of the share, and application 2.5, allotment 2.5, first and final call 5 rupees. Okay, so this is divided into 2.5, 2.5 and then 5 rupee first and final call together. So total is 10 rupees, no premium or no discount. And he is saying that out of this 1 lakh, 400 shares did not pay the call money and his shares were forfeited. So the call money of 5 rupees were not paid and his shares were forfeited. You know, that is the most important thing you must note here, because we need to calculate the forfeited amount. Okay. So we have the entries also below. So we will see that. So as of now, you must remember that the 400 shares value is forfeited. So he did not pay the call money. So he paid 5 rupees. So 5 rupees is something which he paid it. So paid is something which will be forfeited. So 400 into 5, 5 is unpaid and balance 5 is paid. So 5 into 400, this will go to your forfeited account. All the other entries are just normal, and the twist comes here, like 200 of the forfeited shares. Out of this 400, 200 were reissued at a fully paid up value of 8 rupees. That means they gave a discount of 2 rupees. So now here comes the concept of using the forfeited amounts, because we have gained here, isn't it? Forfeited means it is a gain for the company. So 400 shares into 5 rupees, 4000 rupees we have as a gain. So this 2 rupees we can adjust against that gain. So this discount is generally issued so that we can utilize the forfeited gain to adjust this discount. So this is the most important concept. So all the other entries are normal, friends. You can just have a look at it. This version of the document will be shared in my Telegram group as well. So there is no twist or turn anywhere else. The only point that you must remember is the forfeited amount. You must remember that forfeited amount. So here comes the forfeited entry. So the forfeited entry comes here. So 400 shares, okay, 400 shares. So 400 into 10 rupees. As I already said, always the share capital should be debited with the par value. So 400 into 10. So 5 rupees he didn't pay, unpaid. 5 rupees he paid. So this will come to your credit side, because there is no premium or discount originally. No such concept here in this entry. So straightforward entry. So share forfeiture is credited with 2000. So 2000 is a gain, and this 2000 can be used to set off the discount when the shares are reissued. So here comes the reissue. Out of this 400 shares, 200 shares are reissued. So bank will receive 200 into 8 rupees 1600, and share forfeiture account we will debit, because share forfeiture has been credited. Now we will utilize that amount, 2 rupees discount amount. Instead of debiting discount, we will debit share forfeiture. That means we will reduce the share forfeiture balance. So that is what we will do here, and balance will go to your equity share capital. This is the normal entry. And now you must remember that the balance in the forfeiture account will be transferred to capital reserve. In the previous video I said what is reserve capital and capital reserve. Capital reserve is something which will be taken from your share forfeiture account. So you must see that 200 shares, what is the forfeited value? Total 400 value 2000 rupees. For 200 shares it is 1000 rupees, isn't it? For 400 shares it is 2000. For 200 shares, because we issued only 200 shares, what is the value? It is 1000 rupees. Out of this 1000, we adjusted how much towards discount? We adjusted 400 towards discount. So that we have to reduce, and the balance which is there in the forfeiture will be transferred to capital reserve. So simply we will debit the share forfeiture and credit the capital reserve. Still 200 shares forfeiture amount will be there here, but that is not our business now. What we need to understand is, whenever the share forfeiture amount or the share forfeited shares are reissued at a discount, then we have to adjust the share forfeiture gain towards that discount value. So this is the most important concept. You can even remember that total 5 rupees is the share forfeited amount. 2 rupees how much we adjusted? 2 rupees how much we adjusted? So balance 3 rupees. Okay, 3 into 200, it is 600. That 600 is nothing but what will go to your capital reserve. Okay, so because only 200 shares were issued, we will calculate only for 200 shares. If in case 400 shares were reissued, we would have calculated for 400 shares. That again is covered in the next sum. We will just move on to the next problem. Hope you are understanding this properly. Okay, Krishna Limited issued 15,000 shares of 100 each at a premium of 10. Okay, this is important. 100 each at a premium of 10. 100 plus 10, it comes to 110. Now 30, 50, 30. Okay, this is divided 30, 50 and 30. So allotment includes premium. So this is nothing but 40 plus 10. Okay. All the shares were subscribed and the company received the money with the exception of the allotment and call money on 150 shares. That means 150 shares, he didn't pay the allotment money and the call money. That means this 50 and call money. So this 150 shares 80 rupees he didn't pay. Out of this 80 rupees, 70 rupees is towards the share value and 10 rupees is towards the premium value. This also you need to keep the bifurcation, friends, because we, while passing the entry, we need to show the premium separately. Keep that in mind. These shares were forfeited and reissued to Neha at 12 rupees. So this is a case of premium. In our previous example, we saw that they were issued at a discount. So we utilized the forfeiture. But when we issue again at a premium, no need to utilize the forfeiture because we are getting extra money. We are not doing any discount business here. So instead of 10 rupees, we are getting 12 rupees. So that premium is also a gain for the company. So the share future amount as such will be transferred to fully capital reserve. Okay. We will see that. So maybe the calculations are you can just see the forfeiture calculations is important. Okay. All the other entries are always the same. Yeah, here comes your forfeiture entry. Okay, this is the most important entry. Share capital always at face value. Share premium 10 rupees. As I said, while issuing premium, we would have credited it. Now we have to reverse it. That's why we are debiting. Now 150 shares. 150 shares. How much he paid? How much he paid? He paid only 30 rupees. Okay, he paid only 30 rupees. The allotment and first and final call he didn't pay. So that will go to your paid and unpaid as usual. 4,500 is your paid. This 80 rupees is your unpaid. So as simple as that. This entry is as simple as that. If you see the above entry, you have something called as calls in arrears. This is nothing but whenever some person doesn't pay, you will show it as calls in arrears. For example, we would have passed the accrual entry. Okay, this is the accrual entry. Fully for 30 rupees we would have done, but 150 shares didn't pay, isn't it? So out of 15,000, 150 they were not paid. So balance 14,850 only would have received. So that amount only we can debit to the bank. And the balance amount we have to show calls in arrears. Okay, this calls in arrears is nothing but what comes here. You can even say it as your call amount. You can term it whatever you want, but that is what comes here. Okay, this calls in arrears is what comes here. This 30 rupees. Hope you understood this concept. So if you see allotment also, again in allotment calls in arrears would have been there, because that person didn't pay 50 rupees. So calls in arrears we would have debited. So this 50 plus this 30, 80 rupees is the unpaid amount. That is what is always credited here, 80 rupees. If you see 80 rupees. So the debit there gets knocked off with the credit here. Okay. The most important entry is this entry, 7th entry, friends. This is what your most focus should be in. Okay, calls in arrears, always you can remember that the calls in arrears originally we will debit it because he would not have paid it, but ultimately we will credit it, just like what we have seen here. Calls in arrears is nothing but the amount which is unpaid. Share forfeiture is the amount which is paid. This simple concept or logic you can remember, friends. Unpaid plus paid, that should come to your credit, and debit will be your face value of your capital account. Right, and now again 150 shares were issued at 12 each. Bank account, share capital, premium shown separately. So the entire share forfeiture 4,500 is now transferred to capital reserve because there is no discount. No need to utilize the share forfeiture account. That's why entire amount is transferred to capital reserve. So this is one example. Next we will take one more example, and I think this would be the main example. After that I'll just close this chapter for here. Now you can just see whether there's a calculation here. Yes, there's a calculation in this sum, so it will be interesting for you to understand. So total 1,20,000 equity shares of 10 each at a premium of 12 rupees. It is divided into like this. So 5 rupees here includes 3 plus 2. Immediately you should calculate this in your exam, not to waste much of a time. Now applications were received for 1,60,000. Allotment was made on pro rata basis. So that means out of 1,20,000 equity shares, we received excess money. So allotment was done on pro rata basis. Excess money was on application was adjusted against the amount due on allotment. That means whenever we receive excess money, we adjust it towards the allotment. That means we utilize it for the further tranche of the share capital. That means after the application money is received, next is allotment and next is call. Okay, so instead of refunding the money, we can utilize it towards the allotment. It is the company's decision. But here the only checkpoint is this 4,800 shares. He failed to pay the two calls. That means 2 into 2, 4 rupees is unpaid, and 3 plus 5, 8 rupees is paid. Okay, so whatever is the paid amount, that will go to your forfeiture account. Unpaid will go to your calls in arrears. Both will be shown on the credit side only. So this, now you can understand that these shares were reissued to Tina at 7 rupees per share. That means 3 rupees discount. Anyways, we have here 8 rupees which is already paid. Okay, so it is happy for the company to give discount. So out of this 8 rupees, 3 rupees discount will be adjusted. Balance 5 rupees in this forfeiture will go to your capital reserve. Of course, premium will be shown separately. So we can see that calculation below. Total 1,20,000 into 5. Okay, that is actually the original allotment money. Money advanced on application, we will reduce the application money, and then money received on allotment is 4,80,000. So what is this 5 rupees? This 5 rupees is what is shown here. You know, this allotment money 5 rupees. This money. Okay, that is what he's, because we are adjusting it here, we are showing this as a separately. Of course, this kind of questions may not come in your exam because it's more time consuming. So what we need to know here is, we just need to focus on the forfeiture. Okay, amount of share forfeiture includes 3 of application and 3 of allotment. So this is very, very important. So total 6 rupees. Why 6 rupees? Because 1 rupee is premium. Sorry, 2 rupees is premium. So 3 plus 3 is 6 rupees. So out of this 8 rupees, as I said, 5 rupees will be adjusted towards your discount, and balance 3 rupees will be there. Out of that, 2 rupees premium will be shown separately and 1 rupee will be taken to capital reserve. So that is the checkpoint here. You can straight away see the forfeiture entry. See, the forfeiture entry is 4,800 into 6. Okay, 28,800. 6 rupees because we have to show premium separately. We should not include the premium here. And share final call, this is the paid amount, unpaid amount. This is the unpaid, this is the unpaid, this is the paid amount, and this is the face value of the share, friends, right? So that is what we are showing here. Here you might think that why is share premium not coming? Because share premium has already been paid. There is no need to reverse that, isn't it? In our previous cases, examples, we have seen that, the premium amount was unpaid. That's why we had to reverse the accrual entry. But in this case, he has already paid it. He has already paid the application and the allotment amount, including the premium. So there is nothing to pass an entry regarding the premium. You must remember the distinction. When amount is unpaid for the premium, you have to pass the premium entry. But when the amount is already paid, no need to pass the premium entry during the forfeiture. Again, bank 4,800 into 7, 3 rupees we utilized. Out of the 6 rupees, 3 rupees we utilized, and balance is something that we are taking to capital reserve. If you can see the capital reserve, total 28,800. Out of that, 14,400 is adjusted. As simple as that, half, exactly half. So 4,800 into 3 rupees is your balance capital reserve. Okay, premium would have already been received and we would have already passed an entry for that, friends. See, allotment premium, it is already sitting in premium account. That's why no need to reverse it. We reverse the premium only if it is unpaid, but in this case allotment is already paid, so there is no need to reverse it. If the allotment wouldn't have been paid, then we will reverse this premium, because now it is credit, we will debit the premium, just like what we have seen in our previous example. So this is also one checkpoint here which you must note. But the main concept here is share forfeiture, friends. Share forfeiture, adjusting it against discount, and the balance should be transferred to capital reserve. And this entry is very, very simple. On the debit side, you have to show the face value or the par value. On the credit side, you have to show the paid value as calls in arrears, paid value as forfeited amount, and unpaid value as calls in arrears. Okay, this is the entry. This, if you remember, then any kind of calculation is as simple as that. Next example is also on similar lines, friends. There is no difficulty in this. I will straight away take you to the forfeiture account. You can see that the forfeiture is always credited with the paid amount. So these are some more examples to get you acquainted with the facts of the concept. So with that, I would like to end this lesson, friends. I will share this document in my Telegram group. You can just download this and maybe you can just try to understand more, or you can try to solve these sums, or you can try to refer the journal entries. So quickly, I will just take you to what I have explained now. Share forfeiture, as always I say, share forfeiture is nothing but the paid amount which gets credited to your share forfeiture. Share forfeiture, always you should credit with the paid amount. And calls in arrears, this is also always credited, and this is nothing but the unpaid amount. Okay, and whatever is the share forfeiture amount, we can adjust this against discount on reissue of shares. And whatever is the balance, where it will go, it will go to capital reserve. Balance of share forfeiture will go to capital reserve. So this is the concept, friends, as simple as that. For this chapter, the main entries are issuing of shares at a premium, issuing of shares at a discount, forfeiture of shares, and reissue of forfeiture shares at a discount. These are the 4 important topics. So be clear with the journal entries, because in the exam they might test you on the journal entries only, or they might ask you which amount is going to be transferred to capital reserve, or which amount will be taken to forfeiture account, which amount will be taken to calls in arrears. So this is the holy bible for that. Share forfeiture is always the paid amount, and calls in arrears is always the unpaid amount. If you remember this, you can pass the journal entry as simple as that. And capital reserve is nothing but share forfeiture amount minus the adjusted discount value. So this concept will lead to easy marks in your exam. And if you still have any doubts, I am always open to any kind of doubts. You can just ping me in my Telegram group, or you can just DM me there, and I am happy to solve your doubts. Thank you and stay safe. We will again catch up with one more chapter in AFB module.